أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu and welcome to our class today. I hope and pray that you are all doing very well and keeping safe. Polite reminder about class rules as always. Please ensure that you are logged in with the correct ID. Only students with the correct ID will be called to the mic and will be allowed to recite today. So please ensure that you are logged in with your assigned ID. Please also make sure that your heads are covered and that you're sitting in a nice and quiet place so that there's no background disturbance, so you are able to concentrate properly and we are able to hear you clearly when you're called to the mic. The agenda for today's class is in your screens in front of you. We will begin with opening dua in just a bit. We will then move on to look at our rule in focus. We will also be starting a new surah, a new chapter of the Holy Quran today, chapter number 85. We will also be covering our letter of the day before returning back to our practice text. And then we will end the class today with our normal procedure of assigning homework and dua. If I could please start with requesting a student on the mic for our starting prayer.
G2241.
G2241. Assalamu alaikum. G2241. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes, assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very well. Okay, so we are going to start with dua, this dua in front of you highlighted. So please repeat after me. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا
اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا.
Okay, well done. Really good attempt. Over here, we're elongating because of the alif mad, okay? And then at the end, we're going to end with the sound of ah, okay? So at the end, it's going to be nafi'a.
نافعا.
Excellent. Well done. And can you read the translation for me now?
Oh Allah, I ask you for
Beneficial.
knowledge.
Excellent. Well done. And this is from Ibn Majah, hadith number 925. Excellent. Well done. Jazakumullah for your help. G2245.
I mean, it's 4-1.
4-1. Sorry, my mistake. Jazakumullah for your participation. So now let's move on to looking at our rule of the day. Okay, so our rule of the day is on the rule of quiescent hamza. Okay, as you can see on the screen in front of you. Okay, and the rule is as follows. Some words of the Holy Quran contain alif or hamza sakin. Okay, that is alif or hamza letter with a sukoon on top of it. This hamza is pronounced with a soft jerk from the bottom of your throat. Okay, so our first example is on the screen now. We can see over here, the first arrow is pointing at a hamza sakin. Okay, now whenever you see a hamza sakin, the sound that you have to make is of a soft jerk made from the bottom of your throat. So the same word is also written over here. Okay, and you can see that this jim joins onto this hamza sakin. And the sound that is made, like I said, is a soft jerk sound. So when we say this, we will say j, Please repeat after me. J, j. Okay, so very soft, but a jerk sound that is made from the bottom of the throat. And that is how we join a letter to a Hamza sakin with a soft jerk sound. Okay, let's move on to our next example. Over here, this is an example of Alif sakin. So before we had a look at an example of Hamza sakin, a Hamza with a sukun on it. Now we are looking at an example of an Alif sakin. So an Alif with a sukun on it. Okay, so the sound that is made with an Alif sakin is the same sound that we made with a Hamza sakin. It's a soft jerk sound made from the bottom of the throat. So to join these two letters together, I would make the sound of ta. Repeat after me. Ta. Same over here. Ta. Okay, so that's the rule of when we see a alif sakin, alif with a sukoon on it, and how it joins onto the previous letter. Okay, now the next arrow you can see on your screen, this is pointing to an alif mud. Okay, it's an alif mud because the letter before it has a fatha on it. Okay, it's a blank alif and the letter before has a fatha. So this is alif mud. And we've all covered alif mud before, so you should all know the rule of alif mud. Whenever you see an alif mud, we have to elongate, stretch our sound out for 2 seconds. That's the rule. Okay, now the reason we are pointing this out alongside the alif sakin is so that you don't get confused with the sound and the way that it looks. Okay, so you can see over here, alif sakin and alif mud, they look very similar with a small difference of the sukoon on top of the alif. Okay, alif mad has nothing on it and alif sakin has a sukoon on it. And you can see that there is a big difference in the way we pronounce it. Okay, so even though they look very similar, they sound very different. This is a soft jerk sound. This is a stretching sound for 2 seconds. Okay, now the next example is of, again, Hamza sakin. You can see we have a Hamza with a sukoon on it. It's a Hamza sakin. Again, Hamza with a sukoon on it, Hamza sakin. Okay, and this is again leading on from what you learned yesterday with the rule of the chair and the sign that sits on it. Okay, so you can see we have a vowel, but the Hamza sakin is sitting on top of the vowel. And just like I'm sitting on a chair and you can hear my sound, just like that, Hamza sakin is sitting on the vowel. So it's the sound of the Hamza that's going to be made, not of the vowel. Okay, so don't be confused with that. It's the sound of the Hamza sakin that we're going to make. So the sound over here that we're going to make is going to be tu. We're going to join the ta to the Hamza sakin. Tu, with a soft jerk sound. Tu. Okay. Now the next arrow over here, this is pointing to vowel mud. Okay, vowel sakin preceded by a dhamma is a vowel mud. We have a vowel sakin, letter before has a dhamma. So this is vowel mud. And we know that vowel mud makes a sound of 2 second elongation. So we say nu, we're going to stretch that sound, okay? And again, the reason that we put this over here is so that you don't get confused, because again, this vowel mud and this over here looks quite a bit similar, okay? Because we still have the vowel at the bottom and then you have a sukoon at the top of the hamza over here as well. But we have to be really careful and we have to be very mindful. So it's very important that we're looking at the text and we're looking at what sign it has and then making sure we're making the correct sound. Okay, so it's really important that you don't get confused with this, with the two rules. Okay, alif mad is different to alif sakin and vowel mad is different to hamza sakin on the letter vowel. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to move on to looking at some examples of our rule of the day. Okay, so just bear with me for 1 second. Okay, let me just get the screen on top. Okay, so now let's have a look at some examples from the Holy Quran of where this rule of quiescent hamza is being applied. Okay, you can see on the screen we have some examples. So let's have some students on the mic to practice these with us.
G2242.
G2242. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. G2242. Can you hear me?
Yes,
How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Can you come a bit closer to your mic so I can hear you a bit more clearly?
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know where your mic is?
Yeah.
All right. Just come a bit closer to it. Okay. Are you there now?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Still a bit distant still, but let's carry on and see how the sound goes. Okay. So over here we are looking at some examples of the rule in focus for today's class. Okay. So the first example over here, I've highlighted the Hamza Sakin. Okay, I've highlighted it because it's the Hamza Sakin that produces a soft jerk sound from the bottom of the throat that we need to be careful of in pronunciation. Okay, so over here, what we have to do is we just look at this two letters first of all. We have to join the ya to the Hamza Sakin by a soft jerk sound. Okay, so repeat after me. We're going to say yu.
Yu.
Well done. Excellent. Can you just read Dawood and Tasmiyah for me first, and then we'll carry on.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Excellent. Well done. So,
yu.
yep. So just follow after me. Okay. This bit over here is just simply yu. Can you say that for me?
Yu.
Excellent. Well done. So this whole thing is going to be liyu'minu.
ليؤمنوا.
Excellent. Well done. So it's this Hamza Sakin sound that we're paying close attention to in today's class. Okay, let's carry on. Now, the next thing I've highlighted in this example is the Alif Sakin. Okay, Alif Sakin makes the same sound that we made over here with the Hamza Sakin. Okay, so we're going to produce a soft jerk sound from the bottom of our throats. So this will be ta.
Ta.
Excellent. Well done. So altogether, this will be ta'tiyana.
تأتينا.
Excellent. Well done. And one thing to be careful over here is this alif mud over here, okay, that I pointed out before as well when I was explaining the rule, that even though these two bits over here, these two highlighted sections, they look very similar, but they are very different in pronunciation. So one is alif sakin, one is alif mud. So this is going to be elongation of 2 seconds, and this over here is going to be a jerk sound that we're going to make from our throats. Okay, well done. Let's carry on. Over here we have again alif sakin. So we're going to produce a soft jerk sound when we join it to the meme. So we're going to say ma.
Ma.
Well done. Excellent. And then altogether this will be ma'muna.
Ma'muna.
Excellent. Make sure you're elongating the sound of this vowel mud for 2 seconds, okay? Ma'muna.
Ma'muna.
Excellent. Well done. And then this example over here, I've highlighted the Hamza Sakin. Okay, so this is the Hamza Sakin that's joining onto this ya with the dhamma on top. So we're going to say yu. Well done.
Yu.
Excellent. Well done. So altogether, this will be yu'minuna.
Yu'minuna.
Excellent. Well done. Now over here, again, be mindful of this vowel sakin. Okay. Again, this looks very similar to both of these highlighted bits. They look very similar, but the sound, as we've just seen, is very different. So this is producing a jerk sound, and this is a vowel mud. So it means we're stretching our sound for 2 seconds. Okay. So it's very important that we're looking very carefully at the text and making the correct sound. Okay, so what we're going to do now is today we will be covering a new surah Suratul Buruj, and I've highlighted some examples from this surah where this Hamza Sakin or Alif Sakin comes. So let's have a few look at some of the examples. So first example is over here. We have Hamza Sakin, okay, which joins onto the previous mutaharrik letter, which is meme with the dhamma on top. So this will be mu. Can you say that for me, please? Mu. Yeah, is G2242 still on the line?
Just unmute.
Yes.
Okay, so repeat after me. Mu.
Mu.
Yes, well done. Excellent. Now the next example can be seen over here. We have a Hamza Sakin, which joins on to the previous section over here, okay? So this will be Ayyu.
Ayyu.
Excellent. Well done. Again over here we have Mu.
Mu.
Excellent. Well done. And then again over here, Hamza Sakin joins on to the meme previous. Mu.
Mu.
Excellent. Well done. So those were just a few examples from the surah that we're looking at today and where this rule is applied. So it gives you a better idea, okay? But well done. Excellent. Jazakumullah for your participation. G2242. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you.
So, like I said, we will be covering a new a new surah for today's class, and we are looking at Suratul Buruj, which is chapter number 85 in the Holy Quran. Okay, and it has a total of 23 verses, out of which some we will be covering in today's class. And this surah in particular was revealed to the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the city of Makkah. Okay, so those are just a few facts about this surah that we are covering today. So let's now move on to looking at the surah and having students on the mic to cover a few verses with us. Okay, so the same format of recitation will apply as we have been doing. We will have a student on the mic. I will recite first, and then I would like the student on the mic to recite after me. Okay, we have to take care of all the rules that we have learned previously, and there will be some rules that you have not covered yet, but don't worry, inshallah, we will be covering them in future classes. Before you start reading, I will ask you to read Dawood and Tasmiyah. I would like you to please recite that nice and slowly with a very nice melody, as you are doing to the rest of the text as well. Okay, so let's have a student on the mic, please.
G2244.
Jazakumullah. G2244. Assalamu alaikum. G2244. Can you hear me? Assalamu alaikum.
And move on to the next student, G2245.
G2245. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Is that G2245?
Yes.
All right. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very well. Jazakumullah for asking. Are you understanding the rule and focus today?
Yes.
Perfect. That's great. Okay, so we're going to start reading, and let's quickly have a look at the first verse, this second verse, and I'm going to just go through some rules that are being covered in this verse, and then we will recite it. Okay, so the first rule over here is we have a seen mushaddad, and it joins on to the most recent mutaharrik letter, which is not this lam, not this alif, but this vaw with a fatha over here. Okay, so we're going to join these two letters together. Then we will have a meme followed by an alif mad, which also has this sign on top. Okay, now this is a sign we haven't yet covered in our class, but don't worry, we will be covering it in future classes. But for now, just know that whenever you see this sign on top of a letter, we have to stretch the sound out for at least 5 seconds. Okay, so a really nice deep breath as you say it. 1 second timing on this alif mad over here, so 2 second timing. This ta will join onto this lam sakin. Okay, this alif will be missed out in the middle. We have 1 second timing, vaw mad, so 2 second timing over here. And then we will end the verse over here with our normal rules of pausing, inshallah, which we will cover in future classes. But just know for now, for this surah, whenever we end the verse, we have to apply the rule of qalqala to the ending. Okay, so inshallah, when you cover the rules of pausing in future classes, you will get a better idea of why that is. But for now, just follow my lead and I will apply the rule of qalqala, which is a bouncing sound that we have to make at the end of each of the verse that we're going to read today. Okay, so those are just a few things that we have to be mindful of as we read. Okay, so I will start with Dawud and Tasmiyah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والسماء ذات البروج. Can you start with Dawud and Tasmiyah, please?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والسماء ذات البروج.
Excellent. Well done. That was really nicely read. Just one thing over here. Like I said, this is a sign that tells us that we have to stretch our sound out for at least 5 seconds. Okay, so 5 seconds is a long time to stretch for. So we have to really take our time with this. Okay. والسماء
والسماء.
Excellent. Well done. And then at the end over here, like I was saying, we're going to apply the rule of qalqala. Okay, so the rule of qalqala was taught to you on Monday. So the rule will be applied over here. Okay, so don't worry too much about why that is, because inshallah it will become more clearer to you as we go through the rules of pause, and you will realize why that is. But for now, just produce a bouncing sound at the end. Okay, so we're going to say buruj.
بروج.
Good, excellent, well done. Let's carry on to the next verse. وَالْيَوْمِ الْمَوْعُودِ.
واليوم الموعود.
Good, excellent, well done. So the first thing you did over here was you joined this lam sakin to this vowel. You missed out the alif in the middle, okay? And then you also joined this meme to this lam. You missed out this alif in the middle, okay? Over here we have vowel mud. So you stretch the sound out for 2 seconds before you ended the verse, okay? Excellent, well done. Let's carry on to the next verse. Over here we have 1 second timing, 2 second timing because of the alif mud. Okay, it's an alif mad because it's an alif, blank alif, and the letter before has a fatha. Okay, 1 second timing. Over here, we would elongate the nasal sound for 2 seconds. So we have a tanween followed by a vowel mushaddad. So when we join these two letters together, we have to hold the nasal sound for 2 seconds. Okay, dinwa, like that. Okay, and then we carry on. Over here, we have vowel mud again, which we have to stretch for 2 second sound. And then at the end, we have to remember our qalqala sound at the end over here as well. Okay, so follow after me, please. وَشَاهِدٍ وَمَشْهُودٍ.
والشاهد ومشهود.
Good, good, good. Well done. Just over here, don't say washa, but these are not joining. Okay, these two letters are separate. So we're going to say them separately. Okay, washahi.
Washahi.
Excellent. And this is mashhood.
Mashhood.
Good. Can you try that verse again for me?
وشاهد ومشهود.
Good. Well done. But remember to not join these two letters together. Okay. Mush is separate and Mashhood is separate, okay? Mashhood.
Mashhood.
Good, well done. Washahidin wa mashhood.
Washahidin wa mashhood.
Excellent. Perfect. Well done. Really nicely read. And let's do one more verse, okay? Over here, we have 1 second timing, 1 second timing, 1 second timing. We have 2 second timing because of the vertical fatha, okay? This ba will join onto this lam, okay? Alif will be missed out, bull, okay? And then this is an alif which joins onto the kha, and then we have vaw mud over here, so meaning 2 second elongation before we end with the sound of qalqala at the end. Okay, so let's read this verse. قتل أصحاب الأخدود.
قتل أصحاب الأخدود.
Excellent. Well done, mashallah. You read really, really nicely. Really happy with the way you read. Okay, and let's just do one more verse, okay, before we carry on to the next student. So over here, when we start off this verse, we're going to start it with an alif with a fatha, okay, which is joining onto the noon mushaddad, okay? Alif mad will be stretched for 2 seconds. Alif mad will be stretched for 2 seconds. And vaw mad will be stretched for 2 seconds as well over here, okay? So we're going to say, An-nari dhatil waqud.
النازيز ريزات الوقود.
Excellent. Well done, mashallah. Really nicely read. Your timing was really, really good on this. Just keep practicing, okay? But otherwise, well done. You did really, really well. Jazakumullah for your participation. Allah Hafiz. Let's move on to the next student, please.
G2240.
Sorry, I didn't catch you there. G2240.
40.
Jazakumullah. G2240. Assalamu alaikum. G2240. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me? Okay, shall we move on then?
G2243.
G2243. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
How are you today?
Good on you.
Alhamdulillah. Is that G2243?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so we're going to carry on with our recitation. We're going to start from this verse over here, okay? So in this verse over here, we have to be mindful of a few rules. Over here, we have alif mad after the ha, so we have to stretch for 2 seconds. Over here, we have vaw mad because of it's a vaw sakin and the letter before ayn has a dhamma. So again, both of these we have to stretch for 2 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to read and then I would like you to read Dawud and Dasmiya and start. Okay, so this will be إذ هم عليها قعود.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذ له فؤاد.
Okay, good. Well done. Really good attempt. You got slightly stuck over here. Okay, this is عليها.
عليها.
Good, well done. So follow after me. إذ هم عليها.
إذ عليها
قعود.
قعود.
Good, excellent, well done. Can you try that all together for me now?
إذ عليها قعود.
Okay, excellent. Remember, this is the letter Ain, okay, not Ha. So we're going to say Qu'ud.
Qu'ud.
Excellent, well done. So a bit difficult to pronounce this because these are sounds that both need to be made from the middle of your throat, but with practice it will get better. Okay, excellent, well done. Let's carry on to the next verse. Now in this verse, we're going to start with the letter Ra with the fatha. Okay, and then over here we have vertical fatha. So vertical fatha means we have to give it a 2-second timing. This is alif mad because it's an alif, blank alif, and the letter before has a fatha. This is 2-second timing. This is 1-second timing. This is 2-second timing because this is a vaw mad. Okay. 1-second timing over here. This ba with the kasra will join on this lam sakin. This alif will be not pronounced. Okay, I've highlighted this hamza sakin because that's the rule that we're covering today. Whenever we see a hamza sakin, we have to join it to the previous letter with a jerk sound. So this will be mu, like that. Okay, then we have 1-second timing, 2-second timing because of the ya mad, 1-second timing on the noon, 1-second timing over here, 2-second timing because of the vaw mad, ending with the sound of qalqala, as we've been doing in the previous verses as well. Okay, so quite a few rules to remember in this verse. So let's start. This is وَهُمْ عَلَى مَا يَفْعَلُونَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ شُهُودٌ.
وَهُمْ عَلَى مَا يَفْعَلُونَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ شُهُودٌ.
Good, excellent, mashallah. It's a long verse, but mashallah, you read really, really nicely. Just highlighted a few things that you need to be careful of when we're reading. Like I said, this first thing over here is the rule of the day, okay? So the rule of the day is whenever you see a hamza sakin, okay? Now in this case, the hamza sakin is sitting on top of this waw, okay? Now, do you remember from yesterday's class, you learned the example that this vowel is acting like a chair for the hamza to sit on. Do you remember that from yesterday?
Yeah.
Were you here in yesterday's class?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you learned yesterday was that this vowel is acting like a chair for the hamza to sit on. Okay, so are you sitting on a chair at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah, so is it the chair speaking or is it you speaking?
Me.
Yes, well done. So it's you speaking. That's like just like that over here. The vowel, because it's acting like a chair, it doesn't speak. Okay, so the sound of the hamza of the vowel, sorry, is not made. It's the sound of the hamza that's made with the sukoon on top. Okay, so if this hamza wasn't here, this vowel would be a vowel mud. Yeah, just like you pronounced. You said mu, but because the hamza is here, the hamza is the one with the sukoon on top. So because it's hamza with the sukoon, whenever you see hamza sukoon, sakin, we have to produce a jerk sound. So we would pronounce this as mu,
Mu.
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 Good. So it's not an ayn sound, it's just a soft jerk sound. Mu.
Mu.
Excellent. Well done. And then over here, remember, this is a ya mud. So we have to stretch the sound out for 2 seconds. Menina.
Menina.
Excellent. Well done. Okay. So those were just 2 things I want you to be careful of when you're reciting. Okay. Let's move on to the next verse now. Over here, we have 1-second timing, 2-second timing because of the alif mud, 1-second timing, 1-second timing, vaw mud, so 2-second timing. Okay. Now over here, we have the rule of clear pronunciation that's taking place. Okay. Because we've seen a noon sakin over here, we have to always look at the next letter. The next letter is, can you tell me?
Aha.
Aha, excellent. Can you tell me, is the letter ha one of the letters of the throat?
Yeah.
Yes, excellent. Well done. Because ha is one of the letters of the throat, that means that this noon will have a clear pronunciation. Okay, so we're going to read this as minhum. Okay, so that's the pronunciation of that. When we're carrying on over here, we have a sign that means that we have to elongate our sound for at least 3 seconds. So we have to be mindful of that. Again, over here, we have a hamza sakin. Okay, just like we saw previously, this is a hamza sakin, so a soft jerk sound will be made as we join it to the previous letter. This is vaw mad, so 2-second timing. Vertical fatha on top of the lam, we have to elongate for 2 seconds. Okay, over here we have ya mad, so 2-second timing, and over here again we have ya mad, so 2-second timing. Okay, so a bit of a long verse, but let's go through it bit by bit and making sure we're remembering all the rules. Okay, so over here we're starting. وَمَا نَقَمُوا مِنْهُمْ إِلَّا أن يؤمنوا بالله العزيز الحميد. Can you try that for me?
وما نقموا منهم إلى أن يؤمنوا بها
بالله
بالله العزيز
حميد.
حميد.
Okay, can you say ha for me?
Ha
Yes, Hamid.
Hamid.
Excellent. Well done. Really good. Okay. Now you got slightly stuck over here. So the correct pronunciation of this is ayu.
Ayu.
Yes, well done. Okay. So we're joining the alif to the ya mushaddad. Okay. But with the nasal sound in between. So ayu. And then because of the hamza sakin, we have to produce a jerk sound, soft jerk sound. Ayu.
Ayu.
Well done. And over here, this is not ila, it's illa.
Illa.
Good. Well done. Excellent. Mashallah. Really nicely read. Really, really happy with the way you read. Mashallah, you got 2 long verses in your recitation, but you managed to read them very well. But please do go back and have a look at the rule of the day that we did today, okay? And try and practice as much as you can so that you can get to grips with the rule, okay? Well done. Okay, excellent. Jazakumullah for your help and your participation. Allah Hafiz.
Hafiz.
So we're going to take a small break over here just to have a look at our letter of the day, which is this letter over here. Okay, the correct pronunciation of this letter is as follows. Ra. Okay, it's a 5-second elongation. Okay, this letter has no dots. It can join onto the letter previous to it, but it can never join onto the letter after it, as you can see over here. This is the letter of the day. It cannot join onto the letter after it, so it takes its original shape, but it can join onto the letter before it, as you can see over here. We have the letter, and through the help of this small line over here, it joins onto the letter before it. Okay? And the correct way to pronounce this letter is as follows. You take the tip of your tongue and you touch it to the hard palate near the gums of the front 2 teeth. Okay? So you take the tip of your tongue, touch it to the top of your gums on your front teeth. Okay? So one more time, repeat after me. Ra. Okay, so I hope that is clear. And that is the letter of the day, okay? The letter Ra, as we've just said, the correct pronunciation. As we have just done, we stretch it for 5 seconds. Okay, so let's now move on to carrying on with our recitation of the surah of the day. Okay, so let's have another student on the mic, please.
G2141.
Jazakumullah. G2141. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Alhamdulillah, that's good to hear. Okay, how are you finding the lesson? Are you understanding it?
Yes.
Perfect, that's great to hear. Okay, so we're going to carry on with the next verse. So let's quickly point out some of the rules to be mindful of in this verse. So in this verse over here, we have a sign in the middle that says that we can take a pause in the middle of that verse. Okay, so we are going to take a pause. So let's just cover the first half of this verse first. So the first thing is over here, we will join the alif to the lam mushaddad, and this alif will have a fatha on top. Okay, so even though you can't see any sign on top of the alif, just imagine that this alif has a fatha. Okay, so it'll be Allah like that. Then we have ya mad, because it's a ya with a sukoon, and the letter before has a kasra. So we're stretching for 2 seconds. 1 second timing on the lam, 2 second timing on the ha because of the inverted dhamma. Okay, then over here we have a seen mushaddad. Okay, seen with a shadda, and any letter with a shadda on it joins to the most recent mutaharrik letter. So let's have a look at what letter this will join onto. So it will not join onto the lam. It will not join onto the alif because it doesn't have any stroke on it. It will join onto the kaf because it has a dhamma on it. So these two letters will join. Then we have a meme with a vertical fatha, 2 second timing, 2 second timing on again vertical fatha, 1 second timing over here. Then we have the vaw which will join onto this lam sakin, okay, and then we will end the verse with the pausing rules that you will inshallah be taught later on in future classes. So let's start with this verse. I'd like you to repeat after me. الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض. So Dawood and Tasmiyah first, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay, before you carry on, just with a'udhu billah. So when you say that, at the end when you have ta, it's not twa, it's ta. Okay, try again, but your sound should go straight up, okay? Ta. Excellent, well done. So one more time, follow after me. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Excellent, well done. Okay, so keep that in mind for future classes as well, that's the correct way of pronouncing it. Okay, so start from here, please.
الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض.
Excellent, well done. Really happy with the way you read. Your timing was perfect, and your pronunciation was really, really good as well. Okay, at the end, this dod is a thick and heavy sound. Okay, so when you say it as wal ard.
والأرض.
Good, excellent, well done, perfect. Let's carry on. Okay, now the next bit over here, we have lam mushaddad with a vertical fatha on top. It will join on to the most recent mutaharrik letter. Can you tell me which is the most recent mutaharrik letter?
Wow.
Yes, wow. Wow is the most recent mutaharrik letter, so it will join onto the lam. 1 second timing because of the dhamma. 1 second timing, 2 second timing because of the vertical fatha. Okay, then we have over here, we have a kasratain, a tanween underneath the hamza. Okay, so whenever we see tanween, we have to look at the next letter and see if it's a letter of the throat. Okay, so the next letter after Hamza is Sheen. Okay, so can you tell me if is this a letter of the throat?
No.
Yes, well done. It's not a letter of the throat. So that means that it will not be a clear pronunciation, but it will be a nasal sound that we have to hold in our nose. Okay, inshallah, you will cover this in future classes, but that's really good that you've managed to recognize that this is not a letter of the throat. Okay, and this is a ya mad, so 2-second elongation before we end the sound at the end with a qalqala sound as well. Okay, so let's start. Wallahu ala kulli shay'in shaheed.
Wallahu ala kulli shay'in shaheed.
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 Good, well done, excellent. Now, when you say this, inshallah, you will learn later on why. But when you say this, say Wallahu.
Wallahu.
Yes, nice and rounded mouth when you say it, okay? Rather than simply the way you said it before, okay? So this is rounded when we say it. And this ayn sound, try and say it from the middle of your throat. Ala.
Allah.
Well done, good. I know it's difficult, but with the more you practice, inshallah, the better you will get. Okay, excellent. Well done. Nicely read. Let's carry on to the next verse. Okay, next verse is again quite long, and it carries on to the next page. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a pause over here before we carry on. Okay, now in this verse over here, we have a noon gunna sound that needs to be made on the noon mushaddad. Okay, just bear with me 1 second. Okay, so noon mushaddad. So we have to produce a nasal sound, a gunna sound that we need to hold in our nose for 2 seconds. Okay, over here we have ya mad, so 2-second timing, 1 second timing, 1 second, 1 second timing. And then over here we have a lam sakin, which needs to join onto the most recent mutaharrik letter. Can you tell me what letter that would be?
Noon.
Yes, excellent. So noon is the most recent mutaharrik letter, so it will join onto the lam. Then over here we have 2 examples in this verse of Hamza Sakin. Okay, Hamza Sakin, one over here, one over here. We need to produce a soft jerk sound when we join it to the previous letter. Over here we have Ya Mad, so again 2-second elongation. Over here, 2-second elongation because of the vertical fatha. Over here, 2-second elongation because of the Vaw Mad over here as well. Okay, so a lot of rules that we need to be careful of as we are reciting. So I will read, I would like you to follow. Innalladhina fatanul mu'minina wal mu'minati thumma lam yatubu.
Innal lazina fatanul mu'minina wal mu'minati summa lam yatubu.
Excellent, mashallah, very nicely read. Okay, just to remember, this Hamza sakin, it will produce a slight jerk sound. Okay, so not a, I thought I heard you saying kind of a h sound. Okay, so be careful over here. This is mu, mu. Good, well done. And over here, remember the gunna sound. Innalladhina.
Innallazina.
Excellent, well done. And how would you say this again?
Mu.
Excellent. And this?
Mu.
Excellent. Well done. Great. Let's carry on to the next part of the verse. Over here, we have 1 second timing, 1 second timing, 2 second timing because of the alif mad, 1 second timing, 1 second timing, noon gunna sound over here. Okay. 1 second timing, 1 second timing, 1 second timing on these 3 letters over here. Then we have 2 second timing for the alif mad. Okay, stretching for 2 seconds. And then over here, we have a 2 second elongation because of the ya mad. Okay, so those are rules that we need to be careful of whilst reciting. فَلَهُمْ عَذَابُ جَهَنَّمَ وَلَهُمْ عَذَابُ الْحَرِيقِ.
فلهم عذاب جهنم ولهم عذاب الحريق.
Good, excellent, well done. Over here, this is Jahannama.
Jahannama.
Excellent. And at the end over here, the rule of qalqala will be applied. So we're going to end with a bouncing sound on the qaf, okay? We're going to say hariq.
Hariq.
Good, excellent, well done. Mashallah, really, really happy with the way you've read. And just keep practicing, okay?
Okay.
Excellent, well done. Jazakumullah for your participation, really nicely read. Jazakumullah, Allah Hafiz. And that's what we had planned for today, to get up to verse number 11. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back up to the top and we're going to have one more student on the mic to recite a few verses.
G2 152.
Jazakumullah. G2 152. Assalamu alaikum. G2 152. Can you hear me? Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, I'll move on to the next student. G2 157.
G2 157. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Is it G2 157?
Yes,
All right. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. I'm very well. Jazakumullah for asking. How are you finding the lesson?
Good.
Good? Okay. That's great. So we're going to start from the beginning again of this surah. I would like you to read Tawud and Tasmiyah for me first, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
MashaAllah, well done. Really nicely read. Okay, so we're going to start from this verse over here. And over here, the first thing is looking out for is this seen mushaddad. We have to join this to the most recent mutaharrik letter. Can you tell me what that is?
Ma.
What letter is the most recent mutaharrik letter before this seen?
Va.
Yes, well done. This vowel is the most recent. So these 2 letters in between, and they will be ignored in our pronunciation. Okay, we're going to say wassa. And then we're going to carry on and we're going to look out for this sign over here at the top, which means that we have to stretch our sound out for at least 5 seconds. Okay, so really long breath when we say this. 1 second timing, 2 second timing because of the alif mad. Over here, this ta will join onto this lam sakin. 1 second timing, 2 second timing, ending with the sound and applying the rules of pause and the qalqala rule that we've just talked about as well. Okay, so do you want to go by yourself? Try it.
والسماء ذات البروج.
Good, well done, excellent. Over here, this is buruj.
Buruj.
Good, but you know that at the end, that sound is, you have to bounce off the sound a little bit. Okay, buruj.
Buruj.
Good, excellent, well done. Carry on with the next verse, please. Read it.
واليوم Ood.
Good, excellent, well done. وَالْيَوْمِ الْمَوْعُودِ. Try that again for me.
واليوم الموعود.
Okay, this is vowel mud. So we're just going to stretch our sound, okay? So we're going to say ood.
Ood.
Okay, so don't say oud. We're going to say ood.
Ood.
Perfect. وَالْيَوْمِ الْمَوْعُودِ.
واليوم الموعود.
Okay, I understand why you're making that sound. It's because over here you're making a mo sound, so you're saying oh over here as well. But remember, these are two separate rules. Okay, inshallah, we will learn about this rule later on in class. But for now, just remember this is vowel mud. So the sound of oo is just going to be stretched for 2 seconds. So ood.
Ood.
Good, well done. Okay, so slightly confusing over here, but keep practicing this verse and inshallah we'll get better. Okay, let's do one
Okay.
more verse over here. This is going to be 2-second timing for the alif mud. Okay,
Okay.
and 2-second timing over here as well. So we're going to say وَشَاهِدٍ وَمَشْهُودٍ.
شاهد.
Start with the wa. وَشَا.
وشاهد ومشهود.
Okay, well done. Over here, this is dinwa.
بنوة.
Yeah, well done. So because tanween followed by a vaw mushaddad, we have to produce a nasal sound in between, okay? Dinwa mashhood.
مشهود.
Dinwa mashhood.
مشهود.
Excellent. Well done. Really nicely read. Jazakumullah for your participation. G2157. You read really nicely, but just keep practicing and do your homework that I'm going to set for you today. And that way, inshallah, your recitation will get better with time. Okay?
Okay, Jazakallah.
Jazakumullah. Allah Hafiz. So that was our surah for the day. As you can see, we haven't covered the whole surah. Inshallah, you will be carrying on with it tomorrow. And the homework for today's class is to practice Suratul Buruj, which is chapter 85 in the Holy Quran, verses 1 to 11. So those are the verses that we've covered today. Okay, so let me just quickly show you where verse 11 finishes. Over here is where verse 11 finishes. So that's where I'd like you to read up till for your homework. Look out for the Hamza Sakin and the Alif Sakin. Do not confuse this with vaw mud or alif mud. Okay, like we saw in the beginning when we were going through the rule of the day. Don't confuse yourself with vaw mud or alif mud, and make sure you're sounding your rules correctly. Apply all the rules that you know, okay, so that you've learned so far, and also learn the letter of the day. Okay, practice writing it or tracing it with your finger over the letter. And the letter for the day was ra. Okay, and we've learned the correct way of saying it, stretching it for 5 seconds, and we've had a look at some of the characteristics of this letter as well. Okay, so that's your homework. Hope you've all noted it down. Inshallah, it will be shared on the parents group as well. So we will end the class today with the prayer after reciting. If we could please have a student on the mic for that.
G2244.
G2244. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, I'm good, thank you. So we're going to start with the prayer. So repeat after me, please. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Okay, there's a lot of noise. Are you fiddling with something?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so just because it's causing a lot of noise, okay? So I just want you to just sit still for one moment whilst we read it, okay? Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Allahumma arhamni bil-Qur'anil azim.
Allahumma arhamni bil-Qur'anil azim.
Excellent. And the translation for me now, please.
Oh, well, have mercy on me through the Quran, the Great.
Excellent. Well done. Really nicely read. Jazakumullah for that. And Jazakumullah to everybody for joining us in today's class. Please make sure that you do your homework. And inshallah, we'll see you all again same time tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.